Hello everyone, my name is Nikola Tesla, and welcome back to the world of tanky tanks. Today, I'm doing a tank review on the Czech Tier 9 medium tank, the Skoda T50, a reasonably new tank in the game, added in patch 9.13, which it hopefully still is by this Thursday. You know, 9.14 is already on the test server, which doesn't work. And I will show you what does make this tank work, and what doesn't work, and why it should work, and why... Wait, I've done this for the M103 part. I should come up with new things. Anyways, let's head to my garage. So let's have a look at... Oh, you're not allowed to see this. Hold on. There we go. Yes, the Skoda T50, the Tier 9 Czech medium tank, which is really new to the game. And some people say the hull kind of looks like an IS-3. Does it though? Does it? Kinda. But let's not get hung up on what the tank looks like, but what it does. And what it does is kill people really, really fast with its 3-shot autoloader, which kind of resembles that of the Chery. The Chery fires 3 shots very fast and then has to reload for about 15 to 20 seconds. And the Skoda T50 does the same. It fires 3 shots with 1.8 seconds between shots and then buggers off again and does its own thing while waiting to reload. And with the Skoda T50 you get 3 guns. You get the 100mm 820, which looks a lot like the T54 gun you use, you know, with the 200mm, where you fire heat you get 300 and everything. Then you have the 100mm R11, which you shouldn't use because it costs 48,000 experience to unlock, when you could go for the 100mm AK1 gun, which is the autoloader gun, which costs about, I think, 70,000 experience. So you are wasting 50,000 experience, which you can use for the next gun, which is so much better in every single way. And I'm not going to waffle about the guns for too long, because you should get the 100mm AK anyway if you want to unlock the TVP T5051, which you should get because it's a better version of the T50 anyway. So what else is there to look at in the tech tree? Let's have a look at the engines. Yes, the engines. As you can see, the stock engine gets a very beefy 750 horsepower, but the top engine gets 1000 horsepower, which is a lot, and will cost you 41,000 experience. Do I recommend getting that engine? Yes. Now the radio is quite an interesting thing, because the stock radio gets 730 meter signal range, which is almost maximum as all the other tier 10 medium tanks, which gets 750. But the top radio, which costs about 9,000 experience, gets you 850 meter signal range. I can contact people on other maps with that. There's probably some hidden stats about it, like less chance to get damaged, you can order a pizza while waiting for battle, you can hear your mom scream at you if you did something wrong, something like that. And then there's the tracks, but no one really cares about the tracks, so I'll do whatever.
No, but Phil, you have to get the tracks first, or else you can't fit anything on it.
What do you mean, can't fit anything on it?
The tank is too heavy.
I have to get the tracks first and then get the turret and guns.
Yes, you do.
What happens if I don't? Ew, a stock tank. But what about the armor? Yeah, oh, coming to that. Jeebus, hold your nipples. The hull armor is 65. Turret 120, 80, 60, hull armor is 44. Hold on a second. What? Oh my god, it doesn't have any armor. What is it? What? Oh, then again, it's a medium tank, so you shouldn't expect any armor. But holy Jesus, it doesn't have any. I mean, you can shoot it everywhere, and it pens. Look at the side armor. 3mm of spaced armor. So good. It has a butt thing. Shoot anywhere on the roof with artillery on this tank and it will die. Shoot this tank everywhere to pen it, except for the MacLeod, because the MacLeod can bounce, but it can also pen. And when I say shoot it everywhere, I mean everywhere. That was slightly weird. Anyway, equipment. This tank, because it has an autoloader, cannot fit a gun rammer. So instead, I say go for vents, enhanced gun laying drive if you want that extra aim time. I went for vertical stabilizer instead, and you can go for coated optics if you care about view range, or gun laying drive and verge stab if you want to aim really, really fast, which is not really that needed because it aims pretty fast as it is. Or a camo net if you don't want to get seen, I don't know. So the Skoda T50, a very low armored, fast... Alright, I see you sneaking in the background. A very fast, lightly armored medium with a very devastating gun. If you use this tank to its full potential, so a bit safe but aggressive, you can rack up massive amounts of damage. Or disgusting games where you do 300 damage and get wrecked instantly, because that's what it does. It dies really fast, because it has no armor. And then now the obligatory gameplay you need during a tank review, because people otherwise are like, but how does it play? Well, like this. But actually, there's a slight change with this replay, because it is me playing this on the first day of patch 9.13. And that was the patch it got released. And this was happening during the Clan Wars campaign, the Black Gold campaign, you know, of which there is a lot of footage of on this channel. And I free XP'd all the way to the Skoda T50. And I did that because I had free XP left and it looked like a pretty damn good tank. And it is. But I did not have enough free experience for the gun, the AK-1. So I was actually playing here with the first gun, the A20, which is comparable to that of the T54. So if you're grinding for the T50, you will see how it plays if you still have the stock gun, which is quite interesting in my point of view, because other YouTubers don't often give half stock or stock footage of tanks, because you are mostly going to play the tank fully upgraded, and then they will show you how to play it fully upgraded. And, you know, everyone assumes that, oh, you know, everyone has free experience left, they'll just free XP the guns. Not everyone. Most likely enough to free XP half of it, maybe the tracks and the turret, which I had in this case, but not the gun. So, you know, now you know how it plays like things do. Now, as you may have noticed, this is a tier 10 game. The enemy has 4 tier 10s, I-7, T-125 and I-7, but I didn't take that much APCR with me. Yes, this tank fires APCR instead of heat, so that's a kind of a plus to T-54. But it only has 240mm of penetration, which is not bad, but in a tier 10 game it is kind of bad. It's not great, let's be honest here. It's not great to have 240mm on your APCR and 200 on your normal AP. So you will see me fire all of my APCR this game and still not do damage, because even the APCR bounces of the tanks I fire. You saw me a while back bounce off the lower plate of the E75 with APCR, and then pen the front of the 907. You know, I just noticed that I didn't even talk about the gun statistics and other statistics of the tank. For example, I didn't talk about the gun depression, which is 8 degrees if you use the Autoloader, which is fairly good. It's comparable to that of the AMX-30, the French tier 9 medium, which is also a very good tank, and I want to get someday, one day, when I actually play my 1390 again. But I don't. And it's reverse speed, and the reverse speed for the turret is 42 degrees, which is very fast. But on the tracks, it is also 42 degrees, so you get 84 degrees turning reverse speed, degrees a second things, which is extremely fast. There is no tank that can circle strafe you if you are in the Skoda T50. Now there is one problem though. For example, someone is in a close quarters combat with you, and he has more than 1000 health and you are fully loaded. That is a problem. The clip potential of the Autoloader gun is 960, which is really good if you are shooting from a distance. But if you are in close quarters combat, that 960, that can, you know, there's a bit of RNG, you can go back to 800 or 1000 plus damage combined with all your shots. But that's low. It's not, for example, the Rain 40T, which has 6 shots, the Batchat, which has 5 shots. Every other Autoloader, except for the Chiri, has more than 3 shots. So you can pump your shots into your enemy, but in the Skoda T50, you are kind of done at that point. You have to reload for about 20 seconds, and in those 20 seconds, the enemy tanks, if you are, you know, close by, will absolutely destroy you, because this tank has no armor. So if you look at the gun, and the gun statistics, you know, 0.35 accuracy, that's pretty good. 2.2 seconds aiming time, about 1.8 seconds between shots. It is clear that this tank is more of a medium to long range sniper, and only goes in when the match is almost over to rack up the damage. So now that I've talked about the tank statistics some more, I wonder about one thing. And that one thing is, why do YouTubers make tank reviews? I mean, basically what everyone does, and me included, is just read out what it says in the garage and on tanks.gg or any other website that has tank statistics. You can watch it yourself and then see what it does. But thinking of it, I know why. This is a sort of cheat code. For example, you are learning for a test and you write down all the things you need to know. But instead of just writing it down, you give yourself a test. You give yourself, you make a small test for yourself with the answers and the questions that you might expect, so you might remember it better because you made your own version of it. You know, actually that's more of a way for me to remember it better instead of you. You're just watching me babble on and waffle on and diggle-daggle-doggle-daggle about random stuff. You know what? I know the answer. Everyone is lazy. No one wants to look it up for themselves or wants it bite-sized in a video of at least 15 minutes or more. Yeah, that's it. Everyone's just really incredibly lazy. And that's me included, so why am I making this video? God knows! But I am. No wait, no, I know why I'm making this video. As I just said, it is a cheat code for myself, so I can remember how to play the Skoda T50. Because sometimes I do forget about it, and I die instantly. Yeah. Did I mention that I don't have 6th Sense on this tank yet, because I free XP to it, and I don't have the Skoda T40. So this whole gameplay that you just saw from me is without 6th Sense. And you know, it kind of works without 6th Sense, because I went in a pretty good position. This tank has a fairly okay camo rating, so I can shoot through bushes without getting spotted. And this replay, you know, for a stock gun, was pretty good in my opinion. It was my best replay as well with the stock tank. And remember, this was the very first day it was released. And you will be surprised by the amount of experience I earned and what class it was. Oh, and side scraping doesn't really work in this tank. You will have to be in a very extreme angle and don't show your front, because otherwise, well, that happens. He still penned me, and, well, you know, he just fired, I went in, and the game's over. Now, you will be surprised. And there is a second game. Yes, there is actually a second game. You will get to see how the Autoloader plays. And this time it is played by Mats 2500 or Mats 2500 or Mats 2500 or whatever he wants to be called. And Mats does know how to play this tank. He snipes from the back. He does take no chances at all until he sees a gap and knows that the enemy is reloading, so he can pump his shots into the enemy and then get out really fast again, like a cockroach. The Skoda T50 is almost like a cockroach. It goes in, annoys you, and then runs away before you can react. And as you can see, this is again a tier 10 game. Now, if you may have noticed, the Skoda T50 does really well in tier 10 games. And it does really well in tier 9 games. This is a very strong tank if you know how to play it. Like I said, if you find yourself in a bad position, you get wrecked, your game is over. If you find yourself in a good position, which is completely in your own hands, you will do great. Or slightly mediocre because your shots don't hit, or the enemy's armor is, well, let's just say well angled. And there is always the factor of RNG in your game. You know, you can have perfect side shots on an E75. But if RNG decides, no, you cannot have good game tonight, you suck, then, you know, you miss your shots and you do bad. Oh, I completely forgot to talk about the ammo. The type of ammo you get firing with the Autoloader is APCR, and it does 248mm of penetration. I don't know if that was a correct sentence, but I'm just going to go with it. Forgive me for English is not my first language. Anyways, 248. It is not bad. It is higher than the M46 Patton. I believe it is higher than the E50, but it's not, for example, Centurion 7.1 good. It is not the 260-70mm of penetration you get with all the other guns. For the Japanese, the British ones, whatever. But it is still 250mm. You can do a lot with 250mm of penetration. It is still higher than the APCR you get on the stock gun, the A20. So you can pen shots better, but not only that, people will feel a shot, or they will notice a shot coming in. Even if you bounce, they will be all like, oh, I'm getting shot at, better pull back, or drive around this corner. They will move their tank. And within 1.8 seconds, you have a new shell in your barrel. So even if they move, you know, they will slightly maneuver their tank, and maybe you can get a better shot off and actually pen this time. And then suddenly they get penned. Then they really start to panic and drive back even further, or they look around if they get tracked, and then you can put another shot in within 1.8 seconds. And then there's the heat. The heat has 310mm of penetration. And the heat is actually pretty good on this tank because, again, you fire it in 1.8 seconds after the first one. You empty a clip in 3.6 seconds doing 960 damage. Tell me any other tank that does 960 damage in a 20-second... Actually, 20-second reload is pretty damn good, isn't it? Well, it's better than the 7.1, which has a 9.9-second reload and does 390 alpha. So, you know, take the good with the bad. Actually, I completely forgot about the T54E1. And the T54E1 is also a tier 9 medium autoloader, which has 4 shells in its magazine, but has less penetration, has higher damage, so its clip potential is higher, but its reload is longer. Its full clip reload is 34 or 35, close to 35 seconds. So if you would meet a T54E1 in your Skoda T50, and it is a complete 1v1, you are 1v1 against this T54E1 in your Skoda T50, you will be able to reload faster and actually kill him before he gets to unload and kill you, because his clip potential is 1560. You in the Skoda T50 have 1650 health, so he needs to high roll like an absolute boss to kill you, otherwise he is completely screwed, and you have 960 times 2 is 1920 damage, which is, if you roll medium twice, you can kill an E75 in 2 clips. That is pretty good. So you are technically better than the T54E1 firepower wise, but armor wise it is actually the T54E1 which has the upper hand, because as we all know, I've said this many times, the Skoda T50 has no armor whatsoever, only the mantlet can be bounced or the absolute sides of your turret. That is it. If you front on, the mantlet can bounce and the outer parts of the turret can bounce. It's not a guaranteed bounce, but it can bounce, and that's the only part. The rest is basically an automatic pen. So what about the other tier 9 autoloader, the Lorraine 40T? Are you going to be able to kill him before he kills you? Nope. The Lorraine 40T has a too high clip potential for you to escape. Well, if he gets the time to unload, because he has 6 shots, which he fires every 2.0 seconds. So you can fire your shots and hopefully find cover before the Lorraine gets to completely empty his clip. In a Skoda T50 you can empty your clip in 3.6 seconds. The Lorraine 40T, for him to empty his clip, takes 13.5 seconds. You can put your shots in and hopefully run away, because he has 2.7 seconds between shots. That is something the French kind of lack, the speed in between shots. So, if you are in a complete 1v1, you can't move, the Lorraine 40T will win every single time. If you are in a area where you can maybe use cover, but in a sort of small arena, yes, you can maybe kill the Lorraine 40T, but he has to miss or bounce at least 1 shot. Now, as you may have noticed if you've been actually watching the gameplay instead of just listening to me waffle on about tanks, you will have seen that Mads always keeps the distance between him and his enemies high. It's a long distance every single time. Now, why is that? As I explained, it's because you have low armor. If you are a target further away, RNG is more of a factor, and you have time to reload your complete clip, which is 20 seconds. So Matt has only taken 1 shot this whole game, and he still has the health left to help his teammates in this situation. His E100 buddy is on very low health and the T125 is on fairly okay health. But, you know, it's a stiff competition here. There's an i7 and an E100 both on relatively high health. So what he does is he takes a shot from the T95, which is okay because he still has a lot of health left. But he puts a shot in the E100, which then has to turn his turret so that the E5 can put a good shot into his side. Now Matt has to do is evade the i7 and all the artillery, and he gets to drive around this whole area again just to reload. Now he can reload in 20 seconds and he can go in, well, earlier, but he doesn't want to because then the i7 and Arty know where he is. So what he does is he drives around the whole compound here, so he gets unspotted. The i7 doesn't know where he is, artillery doesn't know where he is, the i7 is now engaged again with the heavies, so that Mads can just have his side again, and he can put his shots in at his own leisure. Sadly enough, he bounces the first shot, but he can put the next 2 shots in without any trouble, without getting spotted, and the i7 is just there tracked now. His heavy tanks are faffing around a bit. They don't want to go in against a low health i7 and lose health in the progress. But at this point we don't know where the waffle is, the T95 is, or the 2 artillery. For all we know, the T95 is still in his own base and their artillery is currently moving towards our base, but at least the waffle is dead. And with that I'm going to speed up the footage a bit because, well, it is still steppes, and steppes is a big map. and the enemy doesn't have a lot of fast tanks left, so they're probably scattered all over the landscape, and that is a kind of an issue because, you know, you still have to find them. Oh, there's the T-95. Well, at least we know where he is. And there's the artillery. Now, you're an autoloader, you have the sight of an artillery. What do you do? Yes, that. But now Mads is spotted for the T-92 on the enemy team, and let's hope he does evade that artillery. Ooh, that sounded different with, you know, the speed up footage. Quite interesting, really. You know, everything sounds a bit different with sped up footage. It sounds a bit more like the actual sounds coming in 9.14. I don't know if this is true, I just say things. And I say things because I'm not actually allowed on the test server. I got a warning that the data obtained from the update service is incorrect. So, hell? Please? And I've had this for quite a while actually. I've had this since patch 9.6 I believe, and I've tried everything. I've turned off my firewall, I've turned off my antivirus, I restarted my computer, I reinstalled the whole World of Tanks thing, I removed everything World of Tanks related as the whole actual normal client as well as the common test client to remove this, but apparently I'm not allowed. Wargaming hates me. But we are now actually coming towards the end of this video, tank review, Mads' gameplay, everything. Except for the channel. The channel will live on for at least another 5 seconds. Anyways, yes, Mads has had quite a good game. He's close to 7k damage. He's in a tier 10 game, so he gets extra experience for shooting tier 10s and all that good stuff. But is it an ace? Or is it the first class? Or is it in the second class? Because this was not the first day it was played. This is like, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks into the patch? Nope, not an ace.